Well, we were, very disappointed in the performance. If I was to be honest with you, I felt like they hit some threes. We must bring out the best of them. When Winters hits two, I think he's got two All Big Ten season. He goes 2 for 2, and Stars hit the one from downtown early. That kind of changes some things, but I think the biggest disappointment for me was we didn't get any loose balls, and we didn't get rebounding. We're not real big, and I'll be very honest with you. Amadi had a situation I just found out about that he was out of it. He had a death in his family last night, and not an excuse. He was just. I kept saying during the game he's out of it, and he was out of it, and he's been our best rebounder by far, and been a tough situation in the last couple months, losing his father and losing now his other member of the family. So that didn't help any. But the loose balls has nothing to do with size. It has something to do with. I give Wisconsin a lot of credit. They just found a way to come up with balls. Wall comes up with them. I thought Klesmit came up with a couple. Thought we did a decent job on Klesmit, decent job on Hepburn. He hits the three at the end. We couldn't guard Starr with a fishnet. And, Kroll hit the 1-3, but in the post we had to pick our poison, and we picked one way without Marty defending in there. We had him out most of the game. That was just not a good matchup for us. So questions, I'll take them.
Questions? Right in the middle here, Coach. Go ahead, please.
Tom, you did go a couple big lineups. Well, was it more disappointing to see the rebounding knowing what they were given? You had two bigs in there multiple times.
Well, when we had two bigs in there, sometimes it was Jackson and Cooper because Marty was just so, we had practiced with Jackson at the 5, and all of a sudden we had to play him at the 4 some, and that created some problems on some coverages. But our bigs in general, I just thought when they hit the threes, when Winters hit the threes, we were in a certain coverage that should have been covered, and it just wasn't. I mean, we went a little brain dead, and that was disappointing. So, a lot of the rebounds weren't on rebounds, they were on loose balls. That's where they got a lot of their offensive rebounds. It wasn't like somebody went over us and got some. It was like the ball was knocked around, they came up with it, and I give that great credit to Wisconsin, to Greg, to his program, and to his players.
In the back, Coach.
Coach, what do you think about Chucky Hepburn's defense on Tyson Walker, and what do you think made it a little difficult for him to get into a rhythm?
Chucky Hepburn, there's been a couple guys in this league that has been fun to watch and not very fun to watch. I like the kid from Northwestern, Boo has really matured. Chucky, when he came here, it was like he wanted to score, and now he just kind of runs their team. He just does all the things. I mean, he's a coach's dream. He runs the team. He checks the best player. He's never, ever out of control. Now, he's not scoring as much. It reminds me of my kid, Mateen Cleaves. He scored 16 as a sophomore and 12 as a freshman, I think 10 as a senior, and we win the national. Sometimes less is better. And with the addition of Stores and Kleesman, I think Greg's done a good job of having him play his role, and he's played it to the T. And his defense is phenomenal, but his whole demeanor and the change in his game in the 3 years has been something that, as a coach, you kind of envy and respect.
What makes Storr so dangerous for Wisconsin? You knew going in that Storr and Crowell were going to be your biggest bugs to get at. What makes Storr especially good?
Well, he's hard to guard. I mean, if he's shooting like this, which I thought was, phenomenal tonight. I mean, he made some shots. I mean, he says he's only 3 for 8, but he can shoot it from distance. He's got a great first step. He's got great athletic ability. He's got length. He handles the ball pretty well, and he doesn't miss free throws. So that's a lot of pluses. And And I think he too has, you know, I watched some film on him last year, and I think he's developed in this system very well. And I think coaches deserve some credit for that too.
Tom, I'm wondering, Malik comes out again strong and had you guys right there to draw the second foul.
Yeah.
How much did that change?
That was a killer. I mean, that was a killer. I mean, he only played, I think, 10 minutes first half, and we needed him in there. I thought he did do a good job. I thought that last one, I thought it was a hook one way, and we had it called the other way, and it would have been 2 fouls on Waller, 2 fouls on our guy, and it went that way. And we just didn't feel we could play him again in the situation. But yeah, you know, Malik played very well early, and then that kind of took him out of the game, and that kind of hurt us too. So that's the way the game's played, and we got to do a better job of that.
Michael?
Storer obviously had a good game against you guys the last time. Has he added anything more? Has he developed any more since that last matchup?
Yeah, I think last time, what did he have against us? Do you know?
22.
22. So that's one thing he's done. He's taken it from 22 to 28. You know, and you know, I just think he has more dimensions to his game right now, and he's figuring out how to play with the guys around him. But that's where you give Hepburn a lot of credit. He just kind of seems like he runs the thing until right guys get the shot at the right time. And I mean, I've seen a lot of really good players in this league, and I've had a lot of good players in this league. He's, you know, don't want to jinx him because he seems like a great kid, but he's one of the better players I've seen here. He really is.
Right in the middle.
Coach Izzo, would you speak about the impact that Stephen Crowl had on the game, not just with this deep rebounding and second chance points, but with this passing as well?
Yeah, that's the hard part, you know, whether you double him or not, because he is a good passer. And but you know, normally we can guard him a little better with Marty, and our other guys just weren't capable of doing that. And Marty, you know, even though he played, he didn't play, and so his 20 minutes were kind of, you know, he still gets 7 boards, but that hurt us a lot. And you know, I feel for Marty, so I don't even want to talk about that. But Carl's a good player too. I mean, you know, guys that have been around years, and you know, when you got an extra shooter out there than they've had in the past, I think it really makes a difference, because if you double down or if you dig, he's a good enough passer. He's an unselfish passer, and he's big. So.
Go ahead.
I wondered about Tyson. What was it you feel like was it with him tonight? I mean, that first one he had off the side of the backboard, something characteristic.
Yeah, it was, and I mean, he had a great week of practice. And, you know, be honest with you, I thought after that shot, I thought he was a little gun shy, and I can't believe that. But at the same time, we didn't think we were getting very good picks for him, and part of that is Marty, because he's good at it, and we tried to play Jackson and Thoughts, and he just hasn't, you know, been around enough. So, and Tyson was pressing a little bit, and I mean, they grab you, hold you, and chuck you, you know, and I mean that respectfully. So don't take that wrong. I think this is one of the more physical teams in the league, and I personally like that. I just don't like playing against it, but I appreciate it.
And I'm wondering about that late stretch where you had both Cohen and Booker on the court, kind of what you saw in that.
Well, it's, you know, it's hard. I mean, they're not playing the same when they're 18 up. But I was pleased with Booker. You know, I really was. I've been pleased with him the last 2 weeks of practice. I've said that in practice. And Cohen, you know, was in a tough position, and trying to put him on Stores, you know, really was tough. We've been playing him at the 4. We're moving him to the 3. But I thought both freshmen at least competed, and in that respect, I was happy.
2 more for Coach. Go ahead.
Well, I actually have 2 questions, but the first one, just what do you think about your team's ability this season to be able to make in-game adjustments? You mentioned that Kohler was practicing at the 5, but had to go to the 4 today. Just for being such a veteran team, just what do you think of how they've done?
I don't know, we didn't do very well tonight, but some of it was the shots they hit. I mean, we didn't change. We changed our coverages a couple of times, but the coverages, I mean, when a guy pops out and there's no one within 10 feet of him, one of their bigs, I don't care if the guy's made 2 threes all Big Ten season. I mean, that was supposed to be covered, and so those were mistakes. But Marty is a big part of that too, and so we had guys just all over the place. That wasn't really good. So the in-game adjustments, we made a couple after they hit the first couple threes. We changed some coverages and got back 28-24, and then we just we gave up. I mean, there were effort-related things that I thought they beat us on, not coverages only. I thought it was every loose ball I thought they got the first half, and they scored on a lot of them. Second part?
Yeah, another bigger picture question, I guess. Do you think your team this season has kind of struggled with processing being the hunter versus like hunted?
No, I don't. I think every team in the country is struggling in and out. Maybe Wisconsin hasn't been, and they're one of. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I don't think, as I said, we had a great week of practice. I don't think there was any. We won 3 in a row. I mean, people don't realize that with these changing of schedules that we have now, schedules are going to determine some of the things that happen to you, good and bad. And so I don't think that's an issue. Maybe I'll talk to him about it, but we didn't practice like it. We had great practices, and usually you see it in practice. I think Wisconsin played good, and I think what I found out after was a problem for us. It really was a problem, and that one I can't address, but I can address the loose balls and some of the things that happened that got to change.
Final question, please.
Tom, when you were preparing for the season, was this the type of team that you expected from Wisconsin, or have they evolved in ways that you didn't maybe expect?
I had picked Wisconsin, honestly. I mean, not because of tonight as 1-2 in the league. I mean, I thought them and Purdue were they had a lot of people back, and I didn't know about Stars. And now Stars ends up maybe their best player. And but the experience with Wall, he too has grown in this, 5 years, and what he's done. I remember him early in his career and now, and I think they have done a good job. Chucky was a good player as a freshman. He's a better player now, and he probably averages less points. I don't know that, but I'm just saying what I think. So I did think Wisconsin could be really good. I think Greg's a really good coach. I think their system was fit for the guys they got, and I'm actually happy with some of the defense we played on some of the guys, but Starr made a difference, and the loose balls and rebounds made a difference, and they deserve to win the game.
Thank you, Coach.